Okay. Hey, ladies, you doing
Hi,
Hi, hi,
we're
hi.
awake.
good?
You might go over there and pinch Ruth.
No. Go ahead.
No,
Yeah, I don't think that's something we want to try to do this evening.
Nope, I'd be afraid she pinched me back.
Hmm.
We got some good things. Ruth has got some nice information here that she's written up for us to share tonight. I'm happy about that.
Hmm.
And let's see. What's our order? Oh, Victoria, you're going to go first.
All righty.
Our week in review.
All right, what do I got to review? Let me see.
Think about it. Think.
Wow. Wow. The effort you put into that.
You gonna, this is what the kids say, you gonna get in trouble. Ruth, you're middle, and I am going to be at the end tonight, talking about weekend review. So that's good. That's good
Oh,
stuff.
okay. I got it.
And let's see, do we have next week? Oh, next week we are on again. Right?
Yes,
Next
that's
week
right.
we're on again, and
It's our anniversary.
yep, we're going to be talking about our anniversary and all that good stuff next week. So we're going to be sure to let the listeners know they want to come back in and hear all that good news.
Hmm.
Yes, yes. Well, I say let's roll it and get started because
I'm with you.
we
I'm
got
with
a
you.
lot to share tonight.
I
God be
think
the
we need.
glory.
I think we need to go on and get it together. You better quit dancing, Victoria.
You right. If I fall out this chair, my screen fall back.
When I tell you it's done, it's over. It is done.
You right.
Okay.
I better be still. I better be
Oh,
still.
okay. Alan, we're ready to get started, and you can go right ahead and bring us in.
All right, everybody have a good one. Talk to
Thank
later.
you.
Yeah.
Roll 'em.
Good evening, everybody. Almost got caught. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Authors Up, our favorite place to be on Sunday evenings, right here on ALH Broadcasting. And let's see how the ladies are doing in the house tonight. Hey there, Ruth. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm wide awake. I
Yeah,
promise.
we,
So
we can we can tell.
I'm glad you can tell because I'm trying. I didn't get my nap today, so
Uh-oh. You know those Sunday naps are
oh my
essential.
God. I don't know what it is about the day, but it's just it's almost requisite that you have to take a nap in the
Naps,
afternoon.
naps, naps at our age is wonderful, just
Yeah.
wonderful. Yes,
Well, we have a
I
good
had
show
one.
tonight. We have a good show tonight, and it's going to be kind of a short show tonight, which is okay. We're going to give some information to folks and have some fun while we're doing it. Victoria, how are you doing this
I am
evening?
pretty good tonight. I am just not going to complain. I'm okay. I
Good.
hope you guys are too.
Yes, we are. We are. We are. And as a matter of fact, while you're getting yourself situated there,
I'm gonna be still. I'm gonna be still.
yeah.
Woo, let me see.
Make me laugh
I'm trying.
this
I'm
early
trying.
in the program. This early in the program. But Victoria, you're starting us off tonight with our weekend review. So why don't you tell us what's been happening in your province, Queen Victoria?
You know what? I was thinking when y'all said I was first. I'm saying I didn't do nothing this week. Yes, I did. We had the fall festival at church, and I had the absolute pleasure of doing something a little different. Now, y'all know traditionally I don't do anything for Halloween, and it just was inherent in me. I was raised that way. You don't celebrate Halloween at all. That's just the devil's day, and it's this and that and other. And you know what? And I must admit that during the course of my marriage, I would just not want the kids to go trick or treating. I just was against it. Well, this year, we had the fall festival at church, and I said, you know what? It is not about that. It's a community partnership we were doing, at the church, and if we are not out in the community, who else is going to be the arms and ears to help the pastor establish the vision in the earth? So I said, okay, I'm not dressing up as a costume. I'm not doing anything there. But I asked my children, and they went to the dollar store and they got the decorations for a table. We want to do the trunk, but it ended up being inside because of the weather. And so I, decorated the table, and it was harvest theme, pumpkins, and Vinaya did pumpkins, whatever. And so we had the candy out there, and Vinaya came and did it with me, and it was supposed to be Zai too, my youngest, because I had to work and so couldn't come. And it was I was looking at it as an opportunity to spend time with my kids as well as the community. And it was just so cute. Those kids came in, and oh my goodness, I saw people that I had not met before, and it was just, you were smiling, you were engaging with people, and again, it was a community effort, and it would really turned out to be a very nice evening. The bouncy house was out there. They had a little fire show, and those kids, I'm telling you, they had to really, I'm sure told them parents, y'all gonna be hiding this candy because somebody gonna have a tummy ache, or somebody gonna be up all night with the amount of
A
candy.
lot of candy.
Yes, those kids got a lot. I actually took some home myself, but we won't talk about that part. But it was just really, really nice. And I just say, it was just nice to do something different. And sometimes we just over process stuff. And I just took it as an opportunity to open my mind a little bit, and we learn and grow. It's just another aspect of life. Life is always fluid, and you should always be growing and learning. And I think I took that opportunity to grow and learn that it's not always about the evil part of it, but it's what we do for good to combat the evil in the world. So that was that. And let's see, nothing else. I worked, but coming up, I want to invite you guys. I will be on a talk show this coming Saturday, November 11th at 7 p.m. It's called The New Being. I think it's a play on words for New Being talk show with my host is going to be Yolanda Mitchell, and so I'll be on Saturday night, November 11th at 7 o'clock. It's going to be live on Facebook. I think it's about an hour show, and we'll just be chit chatting and talking about the goodness of God, and I'm looking forward to it.
All right. We're looking
Sounds
forward to
fun.
it too.
Yeah.
That's good. Good, good, good. Always good to be out there. Always good
Yep.
to be out there. And you have your own show coming up
Yep.
second week in the month.
That's
Second
11th to 12th.
second Monday.
So it'll be the November 13th will be the first show. Yeah, that first. Yep, Living Life Victoriously, 7
Right.
o'clock p.m. right here on ALH Broadcasting and SIBN on YouTube. Yes. So
Yep.
I talked about purpose last time, and I had a good feedback, and people wanted to know. Now I talked about having purpose, so they want to know, how do you find your purpose? I'm like, I don't know. I don't know about how to answer that one. So let's see what God says. If we
You
continue,
you will,
You
but
will.
guarantee you
we'll
will.
see. Thanks,
What
God.
about you, Miss Ruth? What's been up in your world? What's going on?
I'll be honest. I've been sitting here, so I put the outline together for this week, right? And when I put it together, I was like, okay, what did I do this week? Because normally when when you send it, I go ahead, write my little point in, highlight it so I know what I'm saying because that's how my brain works. And
Mhm.
this time I was like, oh, okay, I can't think of anything because I said, don't talk about writing in your weekend review because we're going to talk about writing in the show.
You did say that.
I did say
And
that.
you
So
notice
I
I
was
didn't talk
like,
about writing.
well, what else did I do? I'm like, you know what? I got 24 hours. I'll figure it out. So, of course, 24 hours later, I ain't figured nothing out yet. So I'm going to talk about writing, but I'm not going to talk about this specific writing
Okay.
because this past week I started a new thing for me. So I started doing a episodic storytelling. So
Ooh.
I told you guys I've been lately writing fan fiction. So it's based on a Korean novel that I read, and I took two characters that in the original story were antagonistic towards each other for like 50% of the book. So I put them together and then I wrote 25 chapters of that. So I wrote another book in essence in my free time because that's what I do. I'm a nerd. I'm sorry.
And
So
look
I've been
at here.
yeah, so I've been I started this past week. I posted the first chapter on a fan fiction website. So
Oh,
I'm going to post a chapter a week. And I was kind of nervous because
Oh.
again, these are two characters, this is there's like huge fan base out there. So these two characters were nobody would necessarily bring them together, but I thought, oh, let's see, because I like a challenge. Um, let's see how that works out. And I was like completely nervous because I was like, they're gonna hate this. This is
Yeah, yeah.
dumb. And the feedback that I got was just amazing because they were like, oh my gosh, I didn't think of this. I can't wait to read it. So it was exciting for me. Again, I'm a word
Yeah.
nerd. So, this is where the highlight of my life is, but
Cut that
so
out.
I'll be doing that for the next 24 weeks. So through
That's
April, I'll
nice
be posting a
though.
chapter a week. And it's just, seeing this, it'll be different, from, okay, I wrote a book, let me publish it. No, let me put out a chapter a week. So now I have almost 6 months worth of
worth of work.
content that I'm putting out once a week. So
Yay.
I'm gonna test out the waters and see how that works because I'm thinking that I may be offering that in some capacity, not soon, but as a publishing option. So
That's awesome.
I
it is.
love that. And I
Well,
think that it's going to bring more attention to your already published works because people are going to be like, who's this lady? I
Okay.
just see it. I see it. Oh,
So, well,
congratulations.
thank you, thank you.
that's
So we'll
cool.
see how that goes. Well, they haven't read the end of the book yet, so we'll see how
That, no,
they like that. But for me, it's just for me, it is about the process. It's about figuring out because again, this is a model that is very popular around the world, especially in the Asian countries. That's how they publish their work. So
okay.
it is decidedly unpopular here because people want to get the whole
Pay.
book in
Yeah,
their
yeah,
hands, and I get that.
yeah.
But this just to see how people stick with you, if they're still with you 6 months
Yes.
And
later and
doing
still reading
something
the story.
different and
I was
creative.
getting ready to
Yeah.
say,
Yeah,
yeah. That's,
yeah.
oh,
Mhm.
I'm
Yeah.
excited.
Okay, good. Thank you. So that's what, honestly, I've spent my week. So, I've written it out, but like this first, second draft. So now what I'm doing is I post it on Tuesday evening, but then the next day I start editing the next chapter so that I have it ready by the following week. So
And
that's kind of been consistent.
where do you post it?
It's called Archive of Our Own. It is a website for fan fiction stories. So
Okay,
yeah,
Archive of Our
our
Own.
own.
I
Yep.
Okay.
love that. See, once again, doing something outside the box, doing something
Trying.
different, being fluid, open to change, open to something different. I love it. I absolutely love it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, let me say good evening to Leah. Good evening, ma'am.
Hey,
How are you?
hey,
Glad to have you
Leah and
in the
Linda.
house. That's a busy lady right there. I tell you what, she has got all kinds of things going on, and we congratulate you on all of them, Leah. You're doing some great stuff out there. I do have a question for you, Ruth, though. Fan fiction,
Mm-hmm.
what is it?
Fan fiction is stories, fictional stories that are written based on characters and stories that were created. Hello, Freeport, Bahamas.
Hey,
Welcome.
Freeport, welcome.
Um, yeah, so it was created based on characters or stories already established from another author. So I'll give you an example. Who here read 1984
Mhm.
by, God, my brain just blanked out. Anyway, 1984. That book was written like 40, 50 years ago. A author recently took one of the characters in there, female character. If you remember the story, this is the where Big Brother is watching and society is basically caving in on itself, but it was decidedly from a male point of view. So this
Mm,
author took it from the one female character who doesn't get a whole lot of play in the story, original story.
okay.
She wrote it from her standpoint, and she titled the book Julia. So that's what fan
Oh,
fiction is. So even though this one's most fan fiction are just fans who love the story and just want to keep it going in some way.
right.
Sometimes they're published. So, and this particular book, Julie, I haven't gotten a copy of it yet. This particular book, George Orwell, that is the author.
Okay,
I didn't
okay.
get my nap,
Got
so
it.
my
All
brain wasn't
right,
working.
right.
So,
Now, when you
George
said George Orwell,
Orwell wrote
yes,
1984.
yes.
So, this other author took one of the characters and created the whole story around her, but she used the same world, same characters, and everything. She just wrote it from a different standpoint.
Different perspective.
Yes.
Oh,
That's like
Mhm.
you're always saying, okay, who's talking?
Mhm.
yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah.
What
Yeah,
we-
and again, it's not about the story it's not about the story you tell, but how you tell it. Think about the story Cinderella. That one's been around for thousands of years, and it actually started off as a Chinese story. Most people don't know that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but it's how you tell that story. The Brothers Grimm's took it from the original tale and they retold it in the way that they did. The original fairy godmother was an original enchanted fish. So they
Well,
retold it to
about
what
that.
we know today. Yeah.
Hmm. Hmm. That's interesting. I didn't realize that. I've heard you
Mhm.
mention that before, and I've meant to ask exactly what that is.
Yeah.
Now, no permission needed. No, it's not any kind of infringement on copyrights or anything like that. Like if
Um,
I decided that I would take one of your characters from what's my favorite book of yours, Ruth? Uh, speak to her,
tenderly. Speak tenderly to her.
tenderly to her. I always want
Um,
to speak softly to her, but
well, either way.
speak tenderly to her.
Actually, I don't know. I see, and that was one thing because I was happy to write the story, but I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna post it. I don't need to do anything else with it. So I'm not actually sure what the permissions. I don't think it falls like under the same thing like as sampling for music, but
Mm,
because it's an original story, it may not need the copyrights that
Gotcha. I'm
say
thinking,
like a musical
right,
yeah,
right,
wouldn't
right,
need.
right.
So
yeah.
I it is on my list to look up. Um, and I will get you the answer to that. So,
Okay,
mm,
okay. No rush, no rush.
no, well, I was gonna look it up anyway. So when I get it, I'll let you know.
So,
Well,
how was your week?
Yes.
week was good. Oh, you want more?
Yes. Yes, we want more.
I had the opportunity this past weekend, actually yesterday, to speak at tea,
Mm,
TEAT, and the T was for transparency, empowerment, and affirmations.
All
Was
right.
kind of the theme of it. It was it was so pretty. The room itself was decorated so pretty. and the ladies were really, really nice. And I talked about a lot of stuff. I don't know what all I talked about, but I do know that I like to refer to things and people and things that we do as family members. I had one thing that I did out there where I was saying how people always talk about they and somebody. They need to fix that. They need to do that. Somebody should have said something. Somebody should have done that. So I refer to those instances as brother they and sister somebody.
Yeah.
And truth of the matter is they have gone. Brother they and sister somebody are no longer, and the job is yours.
Yeah.
Whatever it is you're thinking about, whatever it is that you think somebody else ought to be doing, it's probably something that God wants you to do and wants you to handle.
Yeah.
So I looked at T and I thought, okay, we got some twins here, because there's some things that just simply go together. And
Mhm.
you can't have transparency without truth. We always speaking in my truth, living in my truth. You cannot be transparent without truth. You can't be empowered, truly empowered, unless you know how to encourage yourself. You're not always going to have somebody there for that pat on the back, and things are going to get tough, and you are going to have obstacles and things going on. So you got to know how to get in that mirror and say, I'm going to get through this. I got the tools I need. I got everything that I need. God wouldn't have given me the job to do if he hadn't given me what I needed to get it done.
Right.
So that led me into affirmations, and affirmations twin is application. You can say wonderful things, but if you never do any of it, if you never apply any of it, then you're just spouting words.
I like that.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
So I came from that perspective. That's just some of it. But the ladies seem to enjoy it. I dealt a lot about value and worth, and being enough, and just celebrating who you are, because we are. When I used to do, and I told them this, when I used to do the workshop on all about the selfies,
Yeah.
self-image and self-talk will lead you into self-sabotage.
Mm. Mm.
And we don't realize it, and we don't understand it. But when you talk about being your own best friend or your own worst enemy, those two things will pull you apart quicker than anything else, because it really doesn't matter all the good things that somebody else says about you.
Yes.
If you don't believe it and you can't operate in it, you will stop yourself.
Come on.
It's like when we talk about the enemy has no power. His only power is the power of suggestion, and he lets you take it the rest of the way.
But that's the truth.
So you
That's
can
the truth.
get in your own way, and the next thing you know, you're all off track. You've lost your purpose, your desire. Everything is, going south, as they say. And I always say the most influential conversation I ever have is the one I have with myself.
Yeah.
So
That's
my
true.
self-talk has got to be on point. I've got to see through God's eyes and see me the way that he sees me.
Yes. Yes.
I will be able to have the outcome he wants me to have. So
Mm.
it was fun. I met some new ladies. Lynn got to go with me. Another of my spiritual daughters got to go with me. And it was just a nice afternoon.
Oh, that's
That's
nice.
lovely.
Nice. And food was very good.
Yeah, I was going to ask if there was tea.
It was food.
That's how it
Okay.
was more than tea.
This was church. So this was food. This was mac and cheese kind of food.
Oh, you had some stick to the ribs food.
Yeah, some stick to the ribs food. So
it wasn't just finger food.
right.
Tea and strumpets.
Yep. No little tea biscuits. No. No. But it really was a nice affair, and it's something that she intends to do on an annual basis. It was Crystal Little, Pastor
With the
Crystal
Well
Little,
Church.
Okay.
the
Yeah,
Well
great,
Church, yes. So it was
great.
really, really nice and well supported and fun. It was fun.
Good,
It's good to
good.
get out and speak again. So, yep,
That's
that
nice.
was good. That was good. Now, Ms. Ruth,
Yes.
you got stuff for us today.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, oh yeah.
So November is National Novel Writing Month, known as
Yes.
NaNoWriMo. We do talk about it. This is our what? We're entering our fifth year that we're going to be talking about next week. And we've done this several times. So
And we didn't know what this was until you told us.
I know. And now we're going to share some more about it because I
Yes.
think, you know what? And the fun part is, it's just, this is how it started. And I'm going to share with you in a minute. And I feel like it keeps growing. And I feel like there ought to be more people talking about it because it is such a good thing. And I see the only benefits of it. So let's talk a little bit about the writing challenge. And even though we are the fifth day into the challenge, anybody can still join. Anybody can decide because, again, it's not about, the writing a novel in 1 month and being done. No, it's about getting something down on paper so that you can accomplish that thing that's inside you. So,
Right.
all right. It's not a contest, it's a challenge. Complete a book in 1 month, 30 days. It started off 50,000 words, but again, if you follow trends, books are getting shorter and shorter. So it is for you, the author, to determine how long your book is going to be and then put in that number. So it'll decide if you're writing a 50,000 word book, you're writing about 1,600 words a day. Now, if you're writing, say, like 24,000 or 20,000, it's going to be decidedly shorter than that. But I thought I'd give you the history of it and then we'll talk about it some more because I think it's
Hey,
made a wonderful impact. And I think even from our pre conversation, it's made a change in you guys. So,
Definitely.
yep. All right. So, this challenge started in 1999, so not that long ago, by a gentleman named Chris Beatty, who was working as a writer in the San Francisco Bay Area. And he decided that one day he was going to write a novel in 1 month. And then he did what all good friends do, he roped his friends into doing it with him. So, you guys are welcome. Um,
oh,
that first year.
thank you, Ruth.
Right. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. So, that first year, it was done in July, July 1st, so they had 31 days. There were 21 participants. 6 of them finished the challenge.
Wow.
And what I loved about this is that each year the numbers kept changing. So the following year they moved it to November to take full advantage of the miserable weather.
Okay.
They had 140 participants that year and 29 finished the challenge. That's when articles started coming out in the Los Angeles Times and the US Today. They made a website, improved it. That third year, 5,000 participants signed up. Third year, they went from 140 to 5,000.
Oh my gosh.
That's crazy.
2005, yeah.
Yeah, it is.
2005, they became a nonprofit. And I thought that was the interesting part of it. We'll talk about their impact in a minute. Um, Over 250 of the novels written during the National Novel Writing Month have been traditionally published, including Water for Elephants and The Night Circus. Um, let's see,
Didn't
last
Water for
year.
Elephants turn out to be a movie as well?
Mhm,
I believe
mhm,
so.
Water for
yeah,
Elephants, yeah.
yeah. So last year, 413,295 authors or writers participated in the challenge. So this is
That's
the impact.
amazing.
21.
It is. Yes.
21
So,
Wow.
and here's the part about it, because remember I said this is a nonprofit organization. So, um, they're on all 6 continents. They have libraries, bookstores, and community centers that support novelists. They have writing goals, tools on their website to help people write. They have established libraries in other countries. They have established library like writing groups and all of that. And I think that that shows, when you think nonprofit, you think, oh, ministry based, you think,
Mhm.
feeding the poor, things like that. But it can be, a nonprofit can be someone helping you get to your goal, and I get excited talking about writing. So,
And we're excited with
again,
you, so keep it going.
so, um, yeah, so let's see. And this just not doesn't apply to adults as well. It's also for kids and teens. They have a young writers program. So, and last year they had 47,000 kids and teens in their young writers program participate. Whew, that is
That's all I
awesome.
can say.
So, and I think, the best part about this is that it helps you break down your goal. How many people won't go, oh, I want to write a book. Oh, it's been on my list to write a book. I cannot tell you how many people I have spoken to who
Right.
are, honestly, this is probably like year 5, year 6 to certain people that I've been talking to who are like, oh, I'm going to write a book. This is the year I'm going to do it. This is the year I'm going to do it. And it's just like every year it's this big goal that nobody gets to because it's this big. And NaNoWrimo helps you by breaking it down to that big. It takes a 50,000 word challenge and it breaks it down to, okay, if you could just write 1,600 words a day, you're that much closer. And
Yeah.
I've read articles, people are like, oh, it makes people think that they can write a book, blah, blah, blah. And it's just like negative, negative, negative. And I'm like, no, if you can get that first draft done, you can edit the heck out of it later.
Yeah, right.
The
Right.
important part is to get it down on paper,
Right.
Mhm.
period. So,
Yep.
and if they can help you do that, I am all for anyone doing this challenge. And again, we talked about this last week. I've done this challenge. I took the first challenge in 2017. I believe I'm on my 6th book um this year. And I think so, if I did the math correctly. I don't do math. I just write. For me, it's the structure of the challenge. It is the actual, okay, this is how you do it. This, and I've done the 1,600 words a day, and that is, I've been writing for 20 years. That is, it can be difficult for me. But if you're starting out and you say, hey, I want to write a 20,000 word book, that then drops the number down to about 700, 800 words a day. And that is feasible. Once you see how much 700 words actually is, it- it- the challenge almost comes out of it. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
but
Almost.
I don't want you to
Almost.
take my word for almost. I don't want you to take my word for it because again, I've been doing this for 20 years. This is my 6th year taking the challenge. So, you guys, this is your second, third year. So what
Third.
has your experience been?
Third.
Why did you join this year?
Because Ruth
Andrea, you
said
want to
so.
start?
Exactly. Ruth wasn't
Yes,
going to like
Joseph.
us anymore if we didn't do it. So we did it. You want to go first, Victoria?
I can. I'm trying to change my water cartridge, but it's okay.
Oh,
I'm trying to get my water in, so I'm using my circle cup. But I took the challenge this year because I wanted to challenge myself again. I did the challenge last year and I did not meet my goal, but I wrote more. Okay. And last year eh, I was writing my book, my fibromyalgia story, and I just was in a different place mentally. And I didn't push that book out. I just didn't. And it's still not out, right? We know that. But this year I said, okay, I want to challenge myself. I want to um get the book out finally once and for all. And I also want to um set a goal and keep it. Just want to do that for myself, and I also want to make Ruth proud because I felt like I let her down last year. I just let her down. I did, and I let myself down. I don't think I worked on that book since the challenge ended last year. So but this year was different, and let me tell y'all what happened. Okay, about a week or two, I had a dream. I had a whole Technicolor dream. And when I woke up the next day, I said, I need to write this down. And so I was telling my sister about it. She said, Vicky, I think you need to do that as a book. And so now this challenge has taken a whole new direction, a whole new life of its own. I'm now writing this book. And I'm watching the book come to life each day. And I set my goal for 750 words, and I'm not quite meeting the 750 words per day. But I'm like last night I came close. I did 686, but I got a whole nother chapter done, and so I'm seeing the life of the book and the characters come out, and I'm just like, I'm doing this thing, y'all. Don't tell nobody, but I'm doing it. I'm doing something that I never have done before. I've written short stories. I've written stories with you guys, but I've never written a whole fictional book. It's been in there. It's been something I wanted to do. And writing a fictional book is very different from writing your own story, and I've written from my own experience is from my blog, from everything I write has always been from my own experiences, but this is different. This is these are characters that's in my brain trying to come out, and I'm like, I think I feel like Ruth. I'm channeling my inner Ruth. And I'm taking things. I better be still. I'm getting excited. Y'all see, I got excited. They start moving when I got excited. All right. I'm using the tools that we've been talking about on the show. I've done, character profiles, like where do you want to take the story? Where do you want to see it? And what do you want to happen? What's the story you're trying to tell? And so it's just taking a life of its own. And I'm excited to really see where the end is going to be. And for the benefit of this to me is to get my writing back in on a schedule. We've always talked about taking time each day to make sure you write. And it's not working for me to get up in the morning. I'm finding myself, like, if I have a thought, I have it up during the day. I'm at work, I might write a little something down. But I'm finding that for the most part, I'm writing in the evening. Like last night, I did everything I had to do all day. Quiet time. Turned off the TV. Even music doesn't help me. I need to think about what I'm doing, and I'm just writing. And last night, I used the dictation feature on Microsoft Word. I was like, "Oh, I feel like Ruth. I'm right." Until it got me sick. It got on my nerve a little bit because I'm talking a little bit faster than it was taken, and I'm going delete, 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 and then all of a sudden I see 6 deletes across the page. It was a hot mess, and I went back to typing. But it's good to have the options to use the different tools. And I remember that I also have the voice recorder thing or on my phone. So if I'm thinking of a thought and I can't write it, at least I could talk about it. And so I'm excited. I have the title of my book. I got the beginning. I've got where the end is going to go. Now we got to get everything together in between. I'm just excited. And you know what has helped me too? As we were helping Paula in the conception to completion challenge, all the things that we help her book do, I see myself doing in this book. And I am not editing. I am writing. It's a hot mess, but I'm trying to just get the story out. So that's me. I'm really excited.
Yep.
Awesome. That's awesome.
And you, Andrea?
My experience is a little different. Of course, you knew it would be. I think I wasn't going to do it. I'll be honest. I wasn't going to do it because I didn't feel like I had a story. The train was different. I knew exactly where I wanted that train to go. I knew who was going to be on it. I knew the conflicts. I knew exactly what I wanted it to be. I knew I wanted it to be a short read. I knew it was something I wanted people to be able to pick up and read on a long flight somewhere, So I had all of that together. It was just putting it on paper. This time I didn't have anything. And I had told you all I don't have a story. But I was intrigued by the power of the first sentence when you talked about that week.
Mhm.
And I thought, I went back and looked at some of the things that I had written. And I even went back and looked at the train, and I thought, man, I didn't have a real power, first sentence in that. And I thought, let me see if I can write one. So I wrote this sentence. And when I looked at it, and I think I read it to you all, and I started saying, I don't know what I want the characters to be, and I don't know what I want this to be and that to be. And you guys started looking at me going, there's a story there when you figure all those things out that you think that you don't have. And I thought, oh, okay. Now, when I went on NaNoWrimo, and they were talking about don't expect to do a book, do a draft, look at
Mhm.
it as a draft. Well, the train was a book. I mean, I knew it, I saw it, I had set it up that way, knew who all my characters were and everything. And I thought this time I'm just going to try my hand at letting the book write itself. And I know that sounds a little strange, but my characters are writing this book.
Mhm.
And it is so funny to me because I like you were saying, Victoria, I get a thought and I kind of put it down. And if I think it's leading to something else, I'll kind of put it down. Remember, the reporter's going to have this question later, or something
Mm-hmm.
like that. And then I just keep writing and writing and writing. Well, I went back yesterday and I looked at something and I had a little blurb down and I thought, what was she thinking? Because I couldn't remember. I couldn't remember what the point of that thing was. But I just kept going. And every time a new character is introduced, and I know this isn't the way that we normally structure anything, but if a new character is introduced, I go back to my character page and write that character's down, write the character's name down, because I know that at some point I'm going to come back and let that character's life be told,
Mhm.
bring it to the forefront. So it's really a very, very different exercise for me. I looked at what my count is 800. I think the train was 5 because I
Mhm.
didn't have a high word count on the train. But this one I had 800, and I actually looked at what 800 words looks like. So when I sit down to write, that's my objective. I don't think if 800 words looks like a page and 3/4, then I'm gearing my writing to a page and 3/4. And interestingly enough, when I have gotten to where 800 words looks, I have so far always been at the end of a thought, at the end of a
Mhm.
segment, at the end of whatever it is I'm writing. So I'm not stopping in the middle of anything.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
It's been just a continuous pattern. So I have had 801. I think one day I did 957, but
Mhm.
All right.
consistently on that 800 mark. Now tonight I'm going to have to go back and think, who's going to talk tonight?
Right. Right. Right.
And what are they going to talk about? So I've taken a definitely a different approach, and I don't feel the weight of it or the stress of it, because I keep in the forefront of my mind that I'm not trying to write a book.
Mm.
I'm trying to get
Mhm.
800 words on paper every day, and how I see it coming together is not something I'm working on now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm putting that sentence in a totally different place and say, I got to remember to come back to this, or I've got to remember to
I
tie
like
this
Mhm.
that. I
later,
like that.
or, I got to, she's got to, you know, one of my characters made a comment, and it just took a whole nother direction into her life and her, the way she's doing things and going places and meeting people. And it's just really, there's some little power nugget kind of sentences
Mhm.
throughout that are leading me into the next piece. So I don't know, I intend to finish it draft. I don't
Yeah.
know when I will go back and finish it as a book, but I am enjoying this part of the process
Mhm.
more than I enjoyed it, more than I enjoyed the train, actually, because I really don't know what's going to happen from day to day, and I'm
Right.
enjoying
And
that.
that's the exciting part about it too. I sent Ruth mine, and I said, Ruth, I want you to read it. She would say, keep going. You're doing fine. Because I was getting caught up in the dialogue. Like, how do I write the dialogue to say that he said and she said? She says, just a conversation, just like we're having now. I was like, okay.
Yep.
You say she's so matter of fact.
And some of mine actually is not conversational right now. A lot of it is storytelling,
Mhm.
Right. Right.
and I'm not concerned about it. I looked at it yesterday, at what I had written yesterday, and I thought, don't stop there, because you will get bogged down, and you
Yes.
you won't be
Yes.
able to finish, because you'll get into the words, and he said this to this one and that one, and I that wasn't how that particular piece was coming out. That
Right.
was coming out from the
Right.
person looking in,
Right.
and
Mhm.
saying this is who this character is. So it's been a very interesting journey so far. It's a long way to go. I'm
I know
looking.
that's
It
right.
ain't that long.
It's only
Look,
the
it
fourth.
ain't.
It's only the fifth, but whoo,
It ain't that long. It's only 25 more days. That's three and
Oh
a half weeks.
Lord, this is gonna be forever. If I live long enough, I
shut that
might
out.
be able to finish. But I appreciate Ruth, because Ruth is truly an author. She is truly a writer, and it excites her to be able to write.
Yes.
And she really, really does project that excitement onto us, not in a way that you have to do it, or making you feel like something's wrong or you're less than if you don't get it done. But we check in with each other every day, and
Mhm.
it's a simple thing as, did you write, have you done your writing yet? And it is encouraging,
Yes.
but it's not, she's not beating me over the head with a bat or
Right.
making me feel bad if I
God.
don't, if
And
I
I
don't.
love the quotes. I love the quotes. The quotes are so good. And it's just so spot on for day to day. It really
Yes.
is.
Mhm.
Thank you, Ruth.
Yes.
Thank you so
And
very
that's,
much.
sometimes it takes a community
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
to get some things done. You can't always do it by yourself. You're doing it by yourself, but you just have that extra person that says, "Hey, did you do it today?" I'm on a 9 to 11 shift. I'm writing at night. So most of my programs that are on at 7 or 8 o'clock, give me time to wind down and get into that soft
Yeah.
quiet place, so I can
Yeah.
can go ahead and do what I'm trying to do. So I don't know, Ruth. I may let you read a little bit,
Oh, I would love to do that.
but maybe not.
Hey, look, you know what? Sometimes we need to go, okay, it's not done yet. It's like
Yeah.
tasting the cake before
I'm
it's
just
baked.
excited. I was like, this is I'm telling you, this is totally out of my comfort zone. And I just wanted to know, if I was going in the right direction. And she said, keep going. Just
I
keep
got
going.
so
I
many
said,
directions,
okay.
so many directions I'm going in. I need to pick one.
And that's okay. It could be, and it could turn out to be two books. but just keep writing, get it out. This is really challenging the writer within. I'm telling you, it's just amazing. It's
You
amazing.
know, my writer within is not looking at two. My writer within just wants to get to the end of the month right now.
I know that's right. I know that's right.
Without hurting myself. That's my goal right now. But it is. I appreciate you bringing all this to the forefront, Ruth, and
Mhm.
as a reminder to say that we're only 5 days in.
Yeah,
And if anybody wants to join us and join the
absolutely.
NaNoWriMo Challenge, there's definitely time
Oh,
to
yeah.
do that and get started and get yourself set up with a buddy uh,
Mhm.
online, and you can help each other get through this. And I think maybe we may give you an update before the end of the month,
Oh,
let you
absolutely.
know where we are and what is happening. But it is a different energy this time than last time.
Definitely.
Yes.
It
Definitely
is.
is. It
It
Yes.
definitely
is. It
is.
Yes.
Just
really
And
is.
I would
looking.
say that anybody who wants to do the challenge, go ahead and sign up at the website. Not because they need a record of it, but there are so many cool tools on the website itself. It gives you a word count. That way you know that you're staying on track. If you complete it, you get a cool little certificate. So there's no money, no prizes or anything except, bragging rights, of course. But there's also local communities. Again, this is global. Our local library here in Garner has a write-in, so they do a particular date, and you can go there and go meet other authors who are writing, and then all of you sit
Oh,
down and just write for a couple
oh,
hours. So,
yes.
and all of this is on the website. They also provide like motivation. They provide speakers. They provide, hey, here's your we got such and such today. He's going to talk to you about, your motivation or whatnot. So there are so many tools available. I would just recommend anyone who wants to do this challenge, check it out. So,
Good information, Ruth. Good
mhm,
information. I thought this was going to be a shorter show, but here
yes.
it has been a longer show.
And that's okay.
But it's all good. And I'm just thankful for those of you who tuned in tonight. It's a
Yes.
good information for anybody who wants to write
Right.
and who's
Yes.
been challenged by just getting started. And I mean that's what do I want to say? That's the hardest part.
Hmm.
It's not
Right.
the writing, it's not the number of words, it's not, how you're going to
Right.
come out in conflicts and characters and all of that. It is simply getting started. So
Yes.
we've gotten started. We hope you will get started as well. If you are a writer and you've been listening to us tonight and you want to hear this information again, or someone who's been saying, I'm going to get that book written,
Hmm.
guess what? Turn them over to Authors Up. We will be reviewing and replaying this show on Saturday evening at 7 p.m. And just let's all write together. Everybody's got
Yeah.
a story in you somewhere, so we just want to pull it out and have a good time while we're doing it.
Hmm.
So that is it for us for tonight. Anybody have any final comments? Victoria, do you? Ruth, do you? Either of you?
Oh,
No.
my usual ones. If you want to be a guest on this show, if you have any questions, any comments, please email us at authorsup@gmail.com. As Andrea said, we will be replaying the show on Saturday, coming Saturday at 7 p.m. Or
Mhm.
you could check us out on YouTube or download us if you are a podcast listener. We are available on all platforms. Also, follow us on social media. Just look for Authors Up Show.
All right. That about wraps it up. This is
Hmm.
our favorite place to be. Make it your favorite place to be also. Come on back and be with us on Sunday evening at 7 p.m. We've always got something for you. And we always say, you never know what's going to happen on Authors Up. So you got
That's
to come
right.
back and join. We'll be here next week at 7 p.m. And we've got some more good information for you. So come on, hang out with us, have some fun, relax on a Sunday evening. We'll be right here to greet
Yeah.
you. And that's it for us
All
for
right.
tonight. Good night. Thank you so much for joining, for being a part of the Authors Up family. And that's it for us. So good night, ladies.
Good night. Good night. Good night,
Good night.
everybody.
Hopefully see you next week. Have a
Night,
good
birth
week,
girl.
everybody.